Right, back live with you tonight here on In Focus. 3 survivors have been rescued from the rubble in Georgia in the Western Cape. 7 people have died and around 40 others remain unaccounted for after a multi-story apartment block under construction caved in yesterday afternoon. Karinda Jagmohan is there with the latest now. In the previous crossing, Karinda, a rescue just happened at that crossing, but I believe another one has happened tonight again, bringing to 4 now since 7 p.m.
Certainly, Thabo. In fact, just after we spoke to you at the top of 9, we heard that lovely round of applause signaling that someone was pulled out of the rubble breathing. And currently, the visuals you're seeing is they're still attending to the survivor. And it will take some time to pull the survivor from the rubble in a safe manner, and only then will the survivor be taken on a stretcher, which is near this group of rescuers that you are seeing, and then off to the ambulance, essentially the emergency vehicle, to go to hospital. But the group of rescuers you're seeing before you, they were digging through the rubble at that site for several hours. It was a small group of people, especially the person you're seeing in a red shirt with the reflector jacket sitting down. They were there for hours on end, pulling out rubble, one block at a time. And when we heard that applause, we turned around. Their hands were up in the air because they had found the person breathing. So right now they're surrounded with lights, and essentially it's just it has to be a technical maneuver to pull a person from the rubble to ensure that they've not sustained further injuries, and that the structure as well, the integrity of it is maintained well as far as possible at this point. But it's unclear what might be around this area, so they're trying to also move as carefully as possible. Around us, we are also seeing some rescuers searching with torches in other parts, especially where survivors were found before, but really that's the focus at this point. All the machines are turned off now to listen. Can we hear anyone shouting? Can we hear anyone breathing? It's all about trying to hear what's beneath this massive concrete rubble mound of concrete that we are seeing. So that's the status right now. But at about 9 o'clock, the municipality gave another update, the Georgia municipality, saying that the tally of retrieved patients has risen to 34. That's by 9 o'clock this evening, leaving 41 person unaccounted for. 7 patients have sadly been declared deceased on this scene. Now, we know that 75 construction workers were present at the time of the collapse, which happened yesterday at about 2 p.m. So tomorrow will mark that 48 hours time frame. But at this stage, many rescuers say that they believe this is still a rescue mission, not a recovery operation. And so any sign of life brings a lot of smile to the team, because they know that they can now start focusing on removing this person and taking them to a place of safety. So that's the state of this mission as it stands. It's much quieter than it was earlier, but still the same number of rescuers. They've just been working many hours for a long time. And I must also tell you that a lot of familiar faces in terms of other disasters. Many of the private rescue teams were present during floods in KwaZulu-Natal in 2022, floods in Ladysmith as well. So we have seen that the technical teams of the ground have experience in terms of disaster management, and these really are the men and women that are being called out often to attend to such scenes. So they're going to be here for the rest of the night. We'll be with them too, but we're still waiting, Thabo. We're waiting to hear another round of applause, hoping someone is breathing beneath this rubble. So right now, again, what they're doing, and it's taking particularly long, this particular process for this particular survivor, taking much longer than what we saw previously to pull this person. And I believe that's because it's almost a hole that they've dug through the rubble, so they have to carefully bring this person up. Sadly, we cannot go any closer, and perhaps that's also maybe for the protection of just everyone that's working very hard to try and get some progress in this. And it's going to be a very long night, but we'll try and keep you updated. I also want to tell you that the stats might also continue changing. This is because during an event where there is a disaster, the number or the tallies are not always accurate. It's always fluid just in terms of what information is present. Some rescues on the ground might have different numbers, while municipality officials might have different numbers. But ultimately, we do expect a more formal media briefing tomorrow and over the course of the next week, formal meetings to actually give the true facts as it stands. But at this time of night, really, all they're looking for is there another survivor that we can pull out from the rubble? I'm not sure if you can see, and we'll try and move a little bit slightly. My colleague behind the camera, Morena Lekitla, just showing you some more of the rescue workers doing their job. They're working with torches now to just look between the rubble. And also we've been told that there needs to be silence right now to hear more people, even the construction trucks turning off their engines just to make sure we can hear something. So that is what's happening, and really this is what it's going to be looking like on Victoria Street in George, really for the rest of the night and for the next few days.
Speaking for the rest of the night, Karinda Jagmohan, the survivors, do they have their families readily standing by to certainly also see for themselves those who are being pulled out there?
Certainly, there were some family members here present. And what has happened as well is some of those family members have been taken to another viewing site that is away from, to say, the prying eyes of the media or the public. They've been taken just to a place where they can be more comfortable, and many of them also performing prayers to just trying to grasp onto some hope they may see their loved ones alive. More than 70 people having been inside this building when this 5-story building collapsed. But we did speak to one family member. In fact, my colleague Sipa Kema, for the better part of this day, has been speaking to a father, Dion Safers, whose son was trapped here. He's been rescued after 35 grueling hours trapped in this rubble. Feelings of claustrophobia, terrifying thoughts, but he is okay. He's in hospital. He has sustained injuries, but he is receiving the treatment that he needs. He's calling for accountability. He's thanked everyone for his prayers, as we've heard his story through our lenses, but also his father describes his son as a hero for South Africa. And many people here right now are heroes in their own way.
All right, that's our Karinda Jagmohan. They're live for us in the Western Cape, in Georgia to be exact, where another rescue has just been carried out there.